Thrustmaster T128 versus Logitech G29. The G29 costs quite a bit more and throws in a shifter and a leather rim, so the real question is whether that extra money actually buys you a better racing feel or just features you won't use. Going cheaper isn't always smart, and paying up isn't either. By the end, you'll know which one is worth it for your setup. Let's break it down. So let's start with the reason you're even considering a wheel: force feedback. Both of these deliver real force feedback, and both feel like a massive jump from a controller. But they get there differently. The T128 uses a hybrid belt and gear system, and honestly, for a starter wheel, it punches above its weight. People who own it say the same thing over and over: the feedback is stronger than they expected. One owner mentioned breaking a sweat during 2 races in Forza Horizon 5. That tells me the strength is there. The G29 runs a dual-motor gear-driven setup. It's plenty strong, and it centers hard, so you feel oversteer and grip loss clearly. The catch is that gear-driven feedback rattles. Owners consistently mention it gets loud under heavy feedback, and it can feel a touch notchy compared to the smoother belt element in the T128. Straight up, if you race late at night in a shared room, that noise matters. For raw detail and quietness, the T128 actually feels a hair more refined. For sheer weight and that firm self-centering pull, the G29 holds its own. Neither is direct drive level, and neither pretends to be. Now feedback means nothing if your feet can't keep up. Pedals. And here's where the gap gets obvious. The G29 gives you 3 metal pedals, clutch included, with a non-linear brake that fights back thanks to a rubber block inside. Some people find that brake too stiff and mod it out, but most agree it feels closer to a real car. The build is cold-rolled steel with a carpet grip system that keeps it planted. The T128 ships with 2 plastic pedals, and this is its weak spot. The community is blunt about it. They're small, light, and they slide. Multiple owners describe wedging them against a wall or box to stop them tipping forward under braking. One person even had a throttle pedal brake early, though that reads like a one-off unit, not a pattern. Still, the message is clear. If pedal feel and stability matter to you day to day, the G29 is simply in another class here. If this comparison is helping you sort it out, take a second to subscribe. Your support is what keeps these deep comparisons coming. Let's talk setup and compatibility, because this trips up a lot of first-time buyers. Both cover PS5, PS4, and PC, so on paper you're safe either way. But check your games. One T128 owner bought it specifically for Gran Turismo 7 and found it wasn't supported, which is exactly the kind of thing that should be on the box. The G29, on the other hand, is basically the default wheel for Gran Turismo and just works on PlayStation out of the gate. On PC, both need a little tweaking. The T128 is easy to configure once drivers are in, though a couple of center buttons reportedly don't register on PC. The G29 leans on Logitech's G-Hub software, and there's a recurring gripe worth knowing. A few owners say software updates occasionally break force feedback in certain games until you fully reinstall. Annoying, but fixable. For plug-and-play console simplicity, the G29 edges it. For casual PC racing, they're close. Quick word on the rim before we go further. The G29 wraps its wheel in hand-stitched leather with metal paddles, and it feels premium. No argument. The T128 is all hard plastic and slightly smaller, which some owners actually like for reaching buttons, though a few wish it were bigger. Both rims run a touch small versus a real car. If grip feel matters, the leather clearly wins. Then there's shifting and where you go from here. The G29 bundle throws in a 6-speed H-pattern shifter, which is genuinely fun for trucking sims and rally, even if it feels a bit plasticky. The T128 relies on magnetic paddles, which are crisp and solid, and it gives you a clear upgrade path to add pedals or a shifter later. So one gives you manual shifting now, the other lets you build up over time. Which brings us to value. Both sit in different ranges, the G29 costing noticeably more. What you're paying extra for is real, better pedals, leather, the shifter, 3 pedals with a clutch. The T128 gives you strong feedback and the essentials for less. On discounts, the G29 drops often in bundles and sales, while the T128 already leans budget and dips further when it goes on offer. Here's the call. For most of you stepping up from a controller, the Logitech G29, the metal pedals, the leather rim, and the bundled shifter make it a more complete setup, and it just works on PlayStation out of the box. But if you're on a tighter budget or racing late in a shared room, the T128 makes real sense. Quieter feedback, crisp paddles, and a clear upgrade path later. If your favorite game is Gran Turismo though, don't gamble. Get the G29. The G29 shows up often in bundles and sales, so watch for a drop. The T128 already leans budget and dips further on offer. And you, which one would you pick? Let me know in the comments. Both linked below with the current price.